It's important to understand that not all Arabic-speaking people are Muslim. I'm on my way to visit a Lutheran church so I can learn more about Christians who speak and pray in Arabic. Father El-Yatim, thank you so much for meeting. There's a fairly broad stereotype that people who speak Arabic are more likely to be Muslim. But here we are in a Lutheran church. So who comes to your church?
People from the Middle East. They come from Egypt, from Syria, from Lebanon, from Iraq, from Palestine, from Jordan. So we have a big mix of people who come to the church.
And when you give an Arabic sermon, which Arabic do you speak in?
It's the classical Arabic.
Fusha or?
Fusha, yeah.
Oh, so anybody, no matter if they come from Palestine or North Africa, can understand you then?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. And so can you just take us back to 30,000 feet and give us some sense of the history of Christian Arabic speakers?
The Arab community started coming here in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The idea was that the missionaries who went from the US to the Middle East to evangelize, they encouraged the Middle East to come to the US to work so they can go back and support their families. Unfortunately, they came here and they stayed here. Instead of going back, they brought their families here. And they settled what we call now Little Syria by Washington Street, by the financial district. And that's where the Arab community started. And from there, they start going to Brooklyn and to other areas.
So are the first Arabs who moved to this area predominantly Christian or predominantly Muslim?
They were, I would say, 100% Christians. Okay. And they came mainly from Lebanon, mostly from Lebanon and from Syria.
Although there's a significant Christian community of Arabs, there's also a dominant Muslim community of Arabs.
What we are seeing that in the last 30 years, majority of the Arab immigrants who come into the US are Muslims. But if you look at the statistics, the number of Arabic Christians in the US is still more than the Arab Muslims in the US.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's true in Brooklyn too.
In Brooklyn, there's a lot of Arabic Christians, but they are not visible because they assimilated in the community.
And what about Lutheranism and Arab Americans?
Well, Lutheranism, when missionaries came to the Middle East, they divided the Middle East among themselves. The Presbyterians went to Syria. The Lutherans came to the West Bank. The Episcopalians went to the 1948 areas. So you can see that the Middle East has been divided among the different missionaries, and that there was their mission field. My great-grandmother saying, this guy coming from America, tell me about Jesus who was born in my backyard. and she was absolutely right, even though Christianity was born there, and Christianity actually went from Bethlehem and Syria to the rest of the world.
What would you tell us about the relationship between faith and community here in Bay Ridge?
First, I want to say that not all Arabs are Muslims and not all Muslims are Arabs. Yeah. We need to understand this fact. I think the Arab community in this area, both Christians and Muslims, are united. No matter what's happening in our homeland, what's happening with our communities here, if we are discriminated against, harassed, rejected, or whatever, we need to keep hope alive. We need to continue to work together to realize our goals.
So how do you say keep hope alive in Fusha?
ابقي الأمل عايش. الأمل, hope, أمل, which is a very beautiful word. It's called الأمل.
Well, it is such an honor to get to meet you. I'm about to learn how to dance.
All right, my favorite part.
Okay. So I'd like to invite you downstairs if you want to come dancing with me.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
There we go. It's
okay.
time.
Okay.